You know that feeling, right? That sinking pit in your stomach when your air conditioner just gives up, always on the hottest day of the summer, or when the furnace decides to quit on the absolute coldest night of the year. It feels like the universe has a personal grudge against you. But what if it isn't just bad luck? Okay, let's really get into this. It's the question we've all screamed at the ceiling. Why then? It seems like some kind of cosmic joke, but that timing, it is absolutely not a coincidence. Your system fails when it's under the most stress because honestly, it's been fighting a long, slow, losing battle against a hidden enemy this whole time, its own environment. That's right, your home's heating and cooling system is in a constant knockdown, drag-out fight. And to really get a handle on this, we're going to zoom in and look at a specific place where this battle is happening every single day. So think about it. In this part of the country, the local environment is uniquely tough on the machines we count on to stay comfortable. It's not just about turning on and off, it's about pure survival. So who are the enemies in this war? Well, first off, you've got these brutal temperature swings. We're talking scorching 95-degree summers plummeting to below zero winters. Then you've got this crushing, relentless humidity. Add to that shifting clay soil that literally moves the ground your house is built on. And for good measure, throw in sudden, drastic temperature drops during spring storms. Every single one of these is a direct assault on your HVAC system. And this shows you exactly how those attacks land. That constant freezing and thawing, it makes metal and plastic expand and contract over and over again, eventually cracking lines and ducts. It's like bending a paperclip back and forth. That super high humidity forces the AC to run non-stop, which just leads to burnout. And the shifting clay soil, it can literally pull your ductwork apart, so you end up paying to cool your crawl space. And all that moisture is just a perfect breeding ground for mold. Okay, so we see the battle plan. Now let's talk about how this fight actually shows up in your home, the things you see and feel. Your HVAC system doesn't just die in silence. It sends out distress signals, kind of like cries for help. The trick is knowing how to translate them. Have you ever looked at your indoor unit and seen it caked in ice? That's a frozen evaporator coil, and it means the whole heat exchange process is ground to a halt. Now, sure, it could just be a dirty filter, but in a really humid place, this is a classic sign that the system is totally overworked and just can't keep up. Or maybe you've heard your system click on, run for a couple minutes, then click right off again, over and over. That's called short cycling. A lot of times, it points to a system that wasn't sized right for the house in the first place, meaning it can't deal with that oppressive humidity we talked about, even if it manages to hit the right number on the thermostat. And what about the classic one room is the Arctic tundra while the other's a sauna? Yep, that's often a direct result of those shifting soils pulling your ductwork apart. You're paying good money to air condition the space between your walls instead of your actual living room. So the big takeaway here is, these failures aren't random. They're symptoms of that bigger environmental war. So, knowing all this, knowing the enemy and the warning signs, how do you actually fight back and win? Well, it all comes down to understanding the difference between a real professional diagnosis and just slapping a bandage on the problem. Now, this slide right here is absolutely key. It shows the night and day difference between guessing and knowing. An amateur might size a system based on square footage alone, but a real pro does what's called a manual J load calculation. They look at everything, your windows, your insulation, that regional humidity, to pick a unit that's perfectly tailored for your home's actual needs. That's how you avoid those big problems like short cycling. You know, the process itself should be simple and totally transparent. You call, a real person asks smart questions. When they show up, they actually show you the problem and give you a written estimate before they do anything. And here's the most important part. After the repair, they use actual measurement tools to prove to you that the root cause is fixed. No more guesswork. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The goal should always be an honest, straightforward assessment. Is it a simple fix, or is it really time to replace the whole thing? You deserve to get clear options based on facts, not on scare tactics. This brings us to the big one, the question every single homeowner has to face when something goes wrong. What's the smartest move for my wallet? Let's break down the actual dollars and cents of your HVAC system. First things first, you need to know the benchmark. A system that's been properly cared for should last you a solid 15, maybe even 20 years. So if your system is, say, only 8 years old and having huge problems, that's a major red flag that something else is going on. Could be a bad installation or just a total lack of maintenance. This chart just makes the money part crystal clear. Look at that tiny little bar on the left for preventative maintenance. It's a fraction of the cost of a medium-sized repair,
which is itself way cheaper than having to replace the whole system. It's the classic ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
And here's the bottom line. Maintenance isn't just about preventing those catastrophic failures. It's about efficiency. A clean, tuned-up system simply uses less energy to do its job, which saves you money every single month on your utility bills and makes your big investment last a whole lot longer.
Okay, to wrap all this up, let's turn all this information into real power for you. We're going to arm you with a checklist, the key questions you should be asking any technician that sets foot in your house so you can feel confident you're dealing with a real pro.
Seriously, don't ever be afraid to ask these questions. A real professional will be happy to explain what they're doing. Listen for those keywords, things like superheat or subcooling for the refrigerant or manometer for airflow. These are the telltale signs of a technician who uses science and data, not just hunches. And always get a guarantee in writing.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Your HVAC system isn't just a hunk of metal sitting outside your house. It's a soldier on the front lines, fighting your home's unique environmental war every single day. Understanding that battle is the first step to winning it. The only real question left is, are you going to equip it to succeed?